let's continue. If I run it again, so we added a image on our button, right? But this image doesn't look good right now, okay? Because of this button size, right? So what we going to do, see, you see a border, right? This border, outside border. So we'll remove this border. So I'm going to remove this border first of all. So let me just remove this border and see how it looks. So I'm going to write BD equals to 0. Okay, so BD stands for border, and border I'm setting it to 0. So now if I run this, you see the border is removed now, right? So it looks good. Yeah, so let's continue. So we are done with this button, register now button. The next thing is we have to create a button at this position also here, right? We have to create a button at this position also. So let's create a button. So in that particular button I'll be using this image, login.png, this image. Okay, so let's do it. So the same thing, these three lines only will be required in that also. So I'll be simply changing the variable names. Okay, so this is a button image, so let me make it login image. Okay, login image, and the file name will change here. Okay, so instead of button.png, this time this will be login.png. Okay, then instead of register button, this will be a login button. So I'll give a name to this, login button. Okay, next thing is that this button will now not be inside this register frame, right? This will be inside our main window. Okay, if you will keep it in register frame, so it will be shown in the register frame area only. Okay, but I do not want that. Okay, next thing is I'll place it from x-axis at a distance of 240. Okay, and from y-axis at a distance of 330. Now if I run this, you see we got this. But hold on, the image which you see here is the same image. Okay, because we have not provided a correct variable name. Okay, if you see, I have provided image equals to button image, so that is why this button image is getting displayed, right? So what we need to do, we need to change it to login image. This image equals to login image. Now if I run this, you see we got this, right? The next thing is you can change the background color. I think that will not have an impact. So I think this is fine here. Okay, or you can give a border color. Let me just try to give a border color. So background color, I'll give it gold. Okay, and let me just run this. Okay, so this is the border which you are seeing at this position. Okay, so now this is fine, this looks good. The next thing is that if I bring my mouse pointer on this button or on this button also, okay, it should change to hand symbol. Okay, so for that what I have to write in this button. Okay, so I'll pass cursor parameter. Okay, and this I'll pass the hand to. Okay, so this hand to represent that hand symbol which you see, and similarly in this register button also I have to pass the same thing. So cursor equals to hand. Okay, if I run now, you see when I'm bringing my mouse pointer on these buttons, it is changing to hand to symbol. Okay, if I use hand one, that let's see how it looks on this register button. So this is hand one. Okay, so this is how it looks. So it's up to you that which one you want to use. Okay, so I'll be using hand two. Yeah, so we are done with the GUI part. So we have completed the GUI part. If you match it with the original project, so it's same. Okay, So next thing is that after creating this, now we will be doing the functionality part of it. Okay, so what is the functionality part that we will be doing here? So right now we'll focus on this button, register button. So when you will click this register button, everything will be happening. Okay, right? So when you will click this register button, everything will happen, all the functionality. If you see, you will be typing here, you will be selecting the question, answer, password, confirm password, everything can be written on this GUI. Okay, and now when I click on this register button, okay, the functionality will depend on this register button. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function and I'm going to provide a command to this button, that particular function. Okay, I'm going to call that particular function from this register button. Okay, so when I'm going to call that function, so whenever I'll click this button, register now button, so that particular function will be called, and whatever functionality you must have written inside that function, that will be executed. Okay, so we have to attach a function with this button. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so here, yeah, so here we have to give a command. Okay, command equals to some function name that we will be just defining. So I'm giving a register. Okay, because we want to register, you can give any function name, it's up to you. So right now this is showing error because this function is not yet defined. Okay, so we need to define this function. So whenever you will click this register button, this function will be called, this register function will be called. So where we will be defining it, we will be defining it at the top. Okay, you can define it anywhere, but I generally prefer to define it at the top. And of course you cannot define it just after this, just after providing command and then after here or here at the bottom, because first in Python is an interpreted language. So first thing is the interpreter which checks is the definition. If the definition is there, then the calling will happen. Okay, so first of all we need to add the definition here. Okay, so I'm going to add a definition at the top so it is separated. So here you can give a command also, that we are now going to do the functions part. Okay, so here we will be doing the functions coding, and here this was complete GUI part. Okay, so this was GUI, how to create GUI, and now we are doing the functionality part here. Okay, and these are the importing lines, right? So let's create the functionality here. So what functionality we need to do? So I'll be simply defining the function with the help of def keyword, def register. Okay, and if inside this I simply write a print statement saying hello. Okay, and if I simply run this, see what will happen when I'll click this register now button. Okay, so this register function will be called and whatever inside it will be executed. So you will see a print on this console here. Okay, so let me just run this. If I click on this register button, you'll see our output here. Okay, see hello. Okay, if I run it again, click on this button multiple times, you'll see that hello is getting printed. Okay, because we have only passed this hello statement inside this register function. Okay, but we do not have to pass this. I was just telling you how is working. Okay, so what we need to do here, first of all, we will check that if all the entry fields, if all the entry fields are empty or not. Okay, if all the entry fields of the GUI will be empty, right now you will get error, that indentation block. So what I'll do, I'll use pass right now because I'm not doing any coding, so I'll simply pass for now so that no error occurs. So what I want right now, that if every field is empty, okay, if any of the field is empty, like for example if you fill these 6 here and you left these 2 empty and click on this register now button, so it will display a message box with a error message box which will say that all fields are required. Okay, so what we need to do, we will check here if the entry fields are empty or not. Okay, so the entry first name, so this was a entry first name we given to that particular entry field, right? If I just show you here, yeah, so this is the entry, this is the first name entry, and this is the variable name I have given. Okay, so with the help of this, we will check that is there anything entered inside this entry field or not. Okay, so how will we check? We will write entry first name, object name, then dot, and then get method of this entry class. Okay, so this get, what it will do, it will simply take everything which you write on that entry field. Okay, if you will write hello there, so this get method will take that hello and will return hello. Okay, if you'll print this line, you'll get hello. Okay, I'll check it with a null value. Okay, so if there is nothing written inside that particular entry field, so you'll get a null value. So I'll simply compare that whatever is inside get value, if is it equal to null or not. So if it is equal to null, or similarly we will be checking for all other entry fields. So entry last name dot get equals to null, and then or entry email dot get equals to null, or entry contact dot get equals to null. Okay, and see, this is a condition we are writing here. Okay, this is the condition we are writing here, right? If this condition will be true, then this if condition will be true, and we will move to the if block. If this will be false, then we will not be moving inside this if block. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use a backslash here. Okay, so why this backslash? So that I can move to a new line. Okay, so to move to a new line, you have to use a backslash. Okay, so I write or here. Okay, or like this. Okay, so if you without using this backslash, if you will move to a new line, so this will give you error. Okay, because this complete thing will be only inside this if condition. Okay, but I want to add few more things, and I do not want to go beyond this window, so that is why I'm moving to a new line. So to make everything into a single condition, you have to write this backward slasher. So here, after entry contact, next thing is entry password. Okay, so it is entry. So there is a problem here. Okay, let's be or entry password. Okay, dot get equals to null. Okay, after this entry password, we'll also check for confirm password, or confirm password not label, entry confirm password dot get equals to null, or for combo box. Okay, so this is a combo box dot get equals to, if it is equals to select. Okay, means nothing is selected. Okay, if this you will get from this combo box, if you get this select only, which is selected. Okay, then this condition will be true. Okay, or then entry answer dot get, okay, equals to null. So what I'll do, I'll again move to a new line. just by placing a backslash here. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is completely one condition. This is complete one condition. Okay, entry question, entry answer. Okay, now semicolon, and from here our condition is over. So this is a complete our condition. Okay, so what I am doing here is I am simply checking if all the entry fields are empty or not. If any one of the entry field will be empty, this or condition will be true. Okay, so if any of the entry field is empty is equals to null, this if condition will be true here. Okay, or if any of the means this combo box is set to only select. Okay, if this is set to select only, then this condition will be true. Okay, so this or this way or works. Here it's entry confirm password and here it's password. Okay, so all the fields are included here. Next thing is that we have to write a message box. Okay, so I'll simply show error message box. So before using a message box we have to import, so we have to write from tkinter import message box. Okay, we have to import a message box. Now we can use this message box. So message box dot show error. Okay, so show error is a method of this message box module. Okay, and here in this show error, first thing we have to pass a title here, which you will see on the title bar. So this is the title, and then the message that will be displayed here. So the message that you will see is all fields are required. REQUIRED. Okay, and yeah, this is correct. Now if I run this, you'll see this. So see, nothing is, I have entered nothing, so all are empty, all are equal to null right now. So if I'll click on this register now, so we are getting a message box displayed with a message that all fields are required here. Okay, so this is how it works. But if you enter something, and similarly here also, similarly here, and if you don't if you keep it select only and you enter something here, then also, and then same here. Okay, see, everything is, all the entry fields are completed, but this is select. Okay, this nothing else is selected here. So if I click on the register now, still you are getting this message that all fields are required. Okay, because we have used all there. Or means that if any condition is true, okay, then complete if condition will be true. Okay, so we have to select any of the question here, then we can click on this register now. Okay, see, I'm not getting any error message here, right? Because after that if we have done nothing, that is why nothing is happening here. Okay, so the next thing, after checking that if the fields are not empty, okay, if the fields will be empty, you will receive a message box that all fields are required. Okay, next thing that I want to check for is whether this password and confirm password are same or not. If they will not be same, then we will be displaying a message that password mismatch. If they are same, then it will move to a new line, means a new condition. Okay, so just after this condition we will check another condition. So to check another condition in Python we use elif. Okay, and in this elif we will simply take this entry password dot get. Okay, so whatever this entry password will get, if it is not equals to, if it is not equals to entry confirm password dot get. Okay, means whatever you are writing inside this entry password which is not similar to this entry confirm password, then you will again receive a error message box. Okay, so message box dot show error. Okay, and the title will be error, and the message this time you will receive is password mismatch. Okay, so this is the error message that you will receive. Now if I run this, so if I select something here and if I type anything here, similarly here, So just to make these fields non-empty, I'm typing it. And then here if I type 1 2 and here I type 1 2 3. Okay, see, everything is filled here. So the if condition, first if condition will be false. Okay, so we'll move to the elif part. Okay, the elif condition. So see, we are getting a message password mismatch. Okay, but if you make any of the field empty, then the if condition will be true first. So we will receive the if condition message box that all fields are required, right? So this is how it works. So I hope you understood. Okay, password mismatch. But if I match the password, you will not get any message right now because we have not done any functionality yet, right? So I hope you guys have understood till now. So after this, what I'll check the next is this condition for this check button. Okay, if it is checked or not. So if it is unchecked, okay, so we will again receive a message box that please agree to our terms and conditions. Okay, if it is unchecked. Okay, so let's do the coding for that. So before doing its coding, we will be creating a variable for this. Okay, I told you that I'll be explaining why we are using this on value and off value in this check button, right? This on value represents that you have checked the button. Okay, so when you check it, it means the on value. Okay, if you unchecked it, it means that off value. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable here, variable equals to check. Okay, and just before this I'm going to describe this variable. So check equals to int variable. Okay, I'm going to make it int variable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable which is integer variable. Okay, and then I am passing a variable in this check button class. Okay, this variable check. Okay, so what this variable check will store, this variable check will either store this on value or it will store the off value. So if you check the button, so inside this check we will have 1, and if you uncheck the button, so inside this check variable we will have 0. Okay, so let's just, we will check this only in this condition inside this register function. So we'll check elif elif check the variable that we just created dot get. Okay, we'll use get method to get the value. Okay, if this value is equal to 0, means you have unchecked it. Okay, means you have not checked it. Okay, so if this is the case, then we will simply display a message box dot show error. Okay, and here the title will be error, and the message that I'm going to display is please agree to our terms and okay, like this. So if I run now and if I click register now like this, you'll get all fields are required. And if I fill something, similarly here also, and I have to give a correct password here in both the fields. Okay, now if I click this register now, so we are getting this error message, please agree to our terms and conditions. Okay, so if I'll check it, means that condition will be false, and now we will not receive any message box. Okay, but if I uncheck it, now that check variable has a value of 0, and that condition will be true, and we will receive this message box here. Okay, so I hope you guys are understanding. Okay, Slash asks, can you explain the this backward slash that I have used here? See, this backward slash is simply helping us in making this whole thing a single condition. Okay, that's it. If you'll not use this backslash, suppose if I don't use here, and similarly here, and if I try to run it, see, we are getting error. If you can see here, we are getting errors here. Okay, if you can see, and if you'll run, then also you'll get error. So to make this complete thing, if condition, we have to use backward slash so that we can move to a new line. Okay, and everything remains in one condition. That is why we have used that. I hope you understood. So after this, yeah, so after displaying this message box, please agree to our terms and conditions. The next thing is, so all these validations I have used, all the three validations, that if nothing will be entered, we will get this message box. Okay, if you will mismatch this password, confirm password, then we will get a password mismatch error. Okay, if you will not select this agree to our terms and condition, then you will get error message box, right? So all this we have seen. Okay, the next thing is, now we need to connect it with the database, that if you are entering everything correctly, okay, everything, and checking this, so when I click this register now button, what it should do, it should store this complete data, into our database. Okay, so firstly what we need to do, we need to create a database. Okay, so how to create a database? So I hope everyone must have downloaded MySQL and installed in their PCs. If not, they can install it later on also. They can just see me how I'm doing it. Okay, and once you'll receive the recordings, and then you can simply do it. Okay, so what you have to do, just after downloading, you can search for MySQL command line. Okay, so MySQL, okay, command line, this one, command line client. Okay, you just have to open this. Okay, and here while installing the setup, they will ask you about the password and the username. Okay, so you have to give your username. So by default, generally the username is root, and you set your password. Okay, so I have set my password here. Okay, so I have entered my password, and if I click this enter, so it says welcome to MySQL monitor. Okay, here we can create a database. So first of all, we will be creating a database. Okay, then after that we will be connecting that database with this register.py. Okay, so how to use this? So I'll not go deep into this MySQL. Okay, because this is not what I'm going to teach you. Okay, so right now we just require that we need to create a database here. Okay, so first thing is, we use commands here. So show databases. So what is database? Database is basically a place where we store all our data. Okay, so data is basically stored in our memories. Okay, so that data can be stored in a relational tables form. So here we are using RDBMS. So this MySQL is RDBMS. So the data which is stored in this database is in the form of tables. Okay, so we store everything in the form of tables in this MySQL relational database. Okay, so if I click on this show databases, so to terminate this means the ending of this is decided with a semicolon. Okay, and if I click this, so these are all the databases that are already present in my database. Okay, these are all the databases are. Okay, so the next thing is that we need to use a particular database. So I just want to show you that the database which I have created for this one, this uh, yeah, so this one, I just want to show you this database which I have created. Okay, before running this one, let me just show you. So the database that I have created here, let me just check first which database I have used here. Mm, yeah, it's employee 2. Okay, so this employee 2 database I have used. Okay, so I have written first line, first command, show databases. So these are all the databases. Now if you want to use any particular database, so you have to write use employee 2. so this is the database name, employee2. So I'm going to use this, okay, and hit enter. So database changed, okay. So now we are inside this employee2, okay. If I write show tables, okay, so if there's any tables or not, so there is one table by a name employee, okay. So this is a table name employee, okay. If I see its description, so I'll write disk and employee and semicolon. So with this disk we will see all the rows and columns which are present inside this table, okay. So this is only the table inside this, okay, employee 2. So if I hit enter, so see we have these columns here. So id is the column, f name first name, l name means last name, then contact, then email, then question answer, and then password, okay. So these are the things. And if you notice this closely, this column id, this column id, see we will see how we can create it, but just now I'm just showing you how this database is working, okay. So first field is this id here, and if you see this is set to null, means no null values will be there, means in this id column no column will be empty, okay. And I have set it as a primary key. I hope you guys have understood, means you guys have read about MySQL and what is a primary key, okay. So primary key is a unique key where we have unique values in that particular column, okay. And I have set it to auto increment, so it will automatically increase. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to write a query here, select star from employee, okay. So what this star will do, it will basically show us all the columns here, okay. So this is a column, okay. Select star from employee means it will show all the columns here. So id, f name, l name, so these are all the columns and its data is shown here, okay. So this is the data that we have stored here inside this, right. So this is our database. So in this database, if you see, I can log in with any of these email addresses here, okay. So if you see, I have also given one as an email, okay, and then a password of 1235 12345, okay. If I try to log in with this one, you'll see, let me just log in with this one so that you guys can understand, okay. I'll simply click on this login because I know the I already created the account. So one, and the password is 12345. If I click, see if there will no, if there in the database, if there is no data as such with this email or this password, you will receive that invalid username or password. But if there is data with this email and this password, then we will be getting a welcome success message, okay. So means this data exists there, okay. And whatever, and then after, if you register, okay, if you will register, so see last time we registered this Dia, right, Dia Sharma, okay. And I have given a best friend name Faizan. I also showed you in the starting that how we can change the password also, okay. So see the last name which we registered is at the last, okay. So if you want to register any other name, you will receive it as a 16 id, okay. See the id numbers are different here, okay. So this is how it works. So I hope you understood. This is the database which I have already created for my this project, okay. Now I am creating a new project, so I'll be creating a new database, okay. So just to show you how we can create a database here, let's start, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to, and if you want to exit this window, you can write like this, okay. Backward slash and then q, it represents quit, okay. So I was just telling you, now what we need to do, we need to open it again so that I can, oh sorry, open, not open, but MySQL, yeah, command line, okay. So backslash t is used for quitting, backslash q, sorry, backslash q, okay. And here now we need to create a database, okay. And once you'll open here, you can type this \h. You will get a lot of help here. Okay, lot of statements which you can use in this. Okay, it will be a guide kind of thing. So now we need to create a database here. Okay, so how we can create a database? We have to simply write like this: create database. Okay, so what database should I create? uh, Let me create with the name register. Okay, so this is the database that I'm creating with the name register here. Okay, and then semicolon, and then if I hit enter, okay, query okay, one row affected and 0.092 seconds taken in this executing this query. Okay, so this query is correct. Okay, query is okay. Next thing is, after creating this database, now if I will write a command like show databases, so you will see this particular database there, register. Okay, next thing is, after creating this database, if I just show you that how many database are there. Now show databases. Okay, so if you see, we got this register database here, right? So now this register database is created. Okay, next thing is, we need to use this register database. Okay, so I'm going to write use register. Okay, use register. So database is changed now. Okay, so after using the database, now what we need to do, since we are inside this register database, we need to create table. Okay, if I'll write right now like show tables. Okay, since there are no tables right now because we haven't created any table, so it will show us empty set. Okay, because there are no tables inside this database. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create a table. Okay, so guys, before creating the table, you have to rejoin this session. So please rejoin this session again. Okay, then I'll be showing you how we can create a table here.